You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 48 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and today we're joined by our lovely boss who just woke up on the other side of the world, Liam Jenkins.
Hello. I feel like there's a lot of pressure in this role now. Like, it's all right for you. You've been on some sort of like star-studded world tour, and then I'm just like I don't know, like how you can't top Brian Dawkins. So now it's like, well, let's just hit a cultural reset and bring Liam back, and then we can like level the playing field for when we start again. Like, we'll go full circle. Liam will come on, and then we'll be sound.
But it's hard because I feel like Liam is the hardest one to get on the podcast.
Yeah, very true. I think Brian was probably easier to get on than me, to be fair.
How you feeling, Chris?
We're going from one legend to another.
Oh,
there we go.
See, I know how to kiss ass.
Where was that 20 minutes ago?
We started last year with Liam, and now we start year 2.
Started, yeah.
Now we start year 2 officially with the man who brought us together.
Yeah.
The man. I mean, we know it because we saw his tweet the other day that said he's finally going through puberty at age 25.
Yeah. I had to have like a proper shave.
Yeah. So the man that brought us together.
The man.
Yeah.
Is it a royal ass that you're kissing because he's on the other side? Like, is that
Yeah, Sir Liam Jenkins.
That sounds. I'm not about that. Like, did you know there's a rule on that night with the Queen where you're not allowed to speak? There's like a proper guideline to if you ever get knighted or something. Like, you're not allowed to talk to her unless she talks to you first, and you have to bow and get on a knee and all that. And it's like, what if I just want to say, thanks for this? Or what if, like, something's coming, like someone's going to try and kill her behind her with a big knife, and I'm like and I'm doing all this, like, and I can't tell her because she'll have a go at me.
So if she hands you something, she doesn't say one word, you're not allowed to say thank you.
No, like, until she speaks to you. It's very...
Then you seem rude as ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah. But anyway, luckily, I don't impose those royal treatments on you, and thus Flippin' the Birds was born.
Imagine saying that. Yes, I work for Sir Liam Jenkins of the Jenkins family.
Sir Liam Jenkins, first of his name. Wearer of the man bun.
Yeah, it's still going strong. It's still
man
going.
Of no sleep.
Do you know what? There should be an under-over on how many Eagles players come into training camp with a man bun.
Well, we already just look at the people with that hair. We got Duke Riley. You got
Alex Singleton.
Singleton, yeah.
Who else has?
It's like Doug Peterson could grow a man bun if you wanted to.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon Jim Schwartz would look killer with a man bun.
He'll definitely look samurai-ish. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like he's got like the chopsticks, like go inside. They're not chopsticks, you know what I mean? Like the ones that go like the Alex.
What if Iron Leg Cam Johnston grew one out?
Oh my god, that's just too much sauce for me. I mean,
yeah,
his Iron
Leg
Leg
a little saucy for the podcast.
Yeah. That's some X-rated content, Chris. Let's not.
Like after he boots it inside the one, he just takes off his helmet and
just flips it.
That's right. He just flips it out. That'll be
Talking
Liam.
of haircuts, though, we're starting on that note. I mean, Zach Ertz's new haircut is
it's
brilliant.
Cool, I'm not gonna lie.
He's ready for an all-pro season with that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. But it's weird though. Like, I can't believe he's gone through like the first 5-6 years of his career with like a buzz cut, just non-stop.
He's had the Chris Infante cut.
He has the Chris Infante one. He doesn't want to pay for a barber cut. When I want to pay for a barber, I'm just taking a razor and I'm just going over.
How about the Alshon Jeffrey cut so far? The Travis Scott look.
Yeah, you can go for that. Yeah, you need your hair plugs.
Yeah, I need major hair plugs. But I kind of like the way the light glistens on my head, though. I'm not gonna lie.
People probably have turned off the podcast by now.
I doubt that.
We're talking about As long as we got the views, it's okay. As long as we got
All right, so let's talk football then. We're recording this on Monday, so training camp is on Tuesday. When I'm recording on Tuesday because it's my daughter's birthday.
Happy birthday to Riley.
Yes, happy third birthday. They said that she will not live past 2 years old, and she's kicking and screaming her way past 3.
All right.
Training camp, COVID-19 training camp to start it off.
If we even have it.
If we have the season at this point, which it looks like it's likely that we at least have 12 games.
Well,
what the rules are so far.
Have you seen baseball?
That's what I was about to say. The Marlins situation.
Then they just bubble it. I mean, the NBA succeeded at it.
Yeah, but then like if a sport like baseball can have an outbreak when you are naturally social distancing in baseball because everybody's so far apart.
But did you read the article? Like 4 players tested positive, and they were like, "Yeah, let's still play. Let's do this." Isn't that like technically illegal right now?
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, like, I genuinely assumed that baseball was in a bubble anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't follow baseball as closely as I do with, the other sports I cover. Like, I mean, I cover the Eagles and Flyers probably the most prominently. I thought it makes way more sense for baseball, for ice hockey, for basketball, because you've got tiny rosters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't even the hockey's at 30. Basketball's a lot smaller. Baseball's at around the same sort of thing. Like, it's easier to bubble everyone and just do that. But for some reason, baseball went, nah, mate, just travel across the country. It's fine. So now you've got an outbreak.
And they're in Philly.
My main worry is NFL rosters are 50, right? 32 teams. It's a bigger chance, bigger sample size, and they're still traveling across the country. Like, you can't bubble them as much because there's so many more players and like staff. Like, I don't know. It's just
in my opinion, I think the only way you do it is if you have a full like geographical divisional breakup.
Mm-hmm.
You play everybody where they're supposed to be playing, like in that area. Keep the Texas COVID numbers in Texas. Like have it a Cowboys Texans.
How would that work with the Cowboys then? Because they're in the Northeast division.
They're not supposed to be here. Like it's the NFC East. They're not even supposed to be. It's so stupid. And it could be like I would say, AFC, NFC East. You got the Patriots, obviously the Giants, Jets, the Bills, Eagles, maybe Steelers, the Ravens.
The Washington football team.
the Pee Wee team in Washington. So that's a ridiculous name right there. That could be the Northeast. You could split them AFC, NFC, and then the South. You got all the Florida teams. They can be in their own bubble down there since everybody's in a bubble down there. You got you could stick Carolina into that maybe.
Yeah.
Carolina, Dolphins, Jags, Buccaneers. Falcons, something like that, and then
you definitely have them all situated in Georgia. There's open field. It's not like congested up here.
And then like out of that, I mean, maybe you have the same 8 divisions, and you just take
do it by conference.
Two playoff teams from each division. And or even one from each division. So you have 8 playoff teams, and then there you go. And I just like you're sticking people on planes and buses and all the stuff you're not supposed to be doing right now. It's gonna be in a sport that you have to. It's impossible to socially distance. It's absolutely impossible.
Well, at least with baseball, everyone's kind of socially distanced anyway for the most part. Whereas like that's what with football like. What was the rule that they made up? You're not allowed to swap jerseys.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to, clutch players, spit on players, get sweat over players, take a bath with it. Like, whatever you want to do.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare swap a jersey. Disgraceful. Full of COVID, man. That is a COVID-riddled jersey. Ugh, get it away. Like, it doesn't make sense.
But isn't it crazy that the NFL had the longest time to plan for everything? And they're not. They're not situated.
They're not prepared. Not prepared at all.
So it's gonna be very interesting. But one thing we can look forward to is training camp battles. I figure we cover offense today. Let's look at from top to bottom. Obviously, we don't really have to discuss the QB position outside with Wentz, but Jalen Hurts versus Nate Subfield. Could be something to watch.
I think even that, and including Kyle Lauletta into it, like I think I don't understand why Nate
I
Sudfeld.
love Kyle Lauletta. I think he has a great arm. He's a good project. It's just that he needs a chance. He grew up an Eagles fan also. He grew up an Eagles.
The thing is with Lauletta is that, I mean, he was in a spot where the Giants randomly drafted Daniel Jones, and that was so out of left field. Like, that move, like, they were probably going to take a call back, but it was so out of left field. Like, he's been sat behind Eli. There was some off-the-field stuff. I remember the preseason game against the Patriots, and he led, like, a 19-point comeback in, like, the fourth game of preseason. Got cut after it. But for me, like, Sudfeld's hit his ceiling in this system. He's been on the team since week 1, 2017. And I say the same thing, like, once a week. Like, he's not trusted. Every time he goes on the field, he's handing the ball off and then he's yanked out, or it's a dump pass. Like even Josh McCown was given full reign in a Seattle game in the playoffs to run around like he's Johnny Manziel and just hope for the best. Yeah. You see Nate Sudfeld, he goes in and it's like, oh, hand it off, take him out. Oh, he's held the air, put that guy in. He's not given that leverage. So I don't think he's going to stick around that much longer.
Which is really weird because they tendered him restricted free agent at the second round level.
Yeah, so they showed they valued him, but
they valued him so highly because they knew no one was going to give a second round pick to sign Nate Sudfeld. And then they promoted
a second round pick on Jalen Hurts.
And then I'm pretty sure they promoted him from the practice squad, so Washington couldn't pluck him from or another team couldn't pluck him. So like they make all these moves to show that he's our backup quarterback, and then
but he's really not.
Play him like he.
I think it's a commodity thing. Like you've got someone that's been around the team that long, that's been around the system that long, and that's where in camp, like he's gonna have an advantage this year where there's no OTAs, there's no preseason, so he's almost got this lifeline to kind of work within the confines of it's just a workout for him. This is like a day-to-day thing. It's just lunch, pail and hat, kiss the wife, go to work. He's used to it. Jalen Hurts has got to come in first day at the office, essentially, a little bit nervous. There's a lot to worry about. Same with Lauletta. Like, they don't have that comfort level. They don't know all the guys there. So Sudfeld may end up looking relatively smooth in training camp. And I think that's where, if we do get to that point where there's no preseason and you're formulating roster picks based off of training camp alone, Sudfeld's probably going to be your backup unless Lauletta unseats him. I can't see them giving it to Hurts straight away, just unless he comes out firing. I might be wrong. Unless he comes out firing. But
Hurts might have that comfort level working with him, actually, with Deshaun Jackson and Rager.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see. Like, I'd personally love to see Hurts come out and just blow it out of the water and get a QB2 roll and not breathe down Wentz's neck, but at least get to a point where, there's competition there almost. But again, I don't know. It's a lot of intrigue around that position. Like, it doesn't seem it on the surface. The second you dig a bit deeper, and then it's almost like a triple threat match between, well, all right, if Carson Wentz goes down, let's say week 4, needs to come out of the game for a bit, who are you putting in? Do you go with Sudfeld? Do you go with Jalen Hurts? Do you go with Carlisle? And then you've got to make that call basically off of training camp. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be definitely interesting to see. So now let's move to my favorite position, running back. Obviously, it's going to be the Miles Sanders show. So no Sanders slander. It still lives on.
I just wrote an article about how he can win MVP. So there's not going to be any Sanders slander.
I'm allowed to trigger you.
I'll keep that for another week.
But behind him is very, very intriguing. You have Corey Clement, Boston Scott, Michael Warren, the undrafted free agent, and Adrian Killens, the other undrafted free agent. No true veteran behind Sanders right now. So there's a spot open. Devontae Freeman's still out there. LaShawn McCoy's still out there. But with the Eagles having to trim the roster to 80, nobody knows what can or will happen at this point.
I mean, if they go veteran, you got a couple names right there that might get Dax, Killens and Warren. I know Warren is very intriguing, just the way he runs. Clement's injury, risk big time. I know Drew Rosenhaus put out that Freeman's ready for a contract. He was and then people were tagging the Eagles like crazy. Even I believe Field Yates tagged the Eagles in it.
But last time we heard it, he was asking for too much money, right?
Yeah, price may come down. If you're this close to the season and you just want to get a job, I would hope that he realizes he's not Le'Veon Bell. That he could just say, no, this is my price, and if I don't get it, I'm just going to sit out the season.
Le'Veon Bell's not even Le'Veon Bell these days.
I know, yeah. So, there's bad blood between him and Jamal Adams right now.
That's interesting.
But and we do have Mr. Recruiter Jalen Mills apparently when tagging LaShawn McCoy saying, "Heard you trying to win a championship," and McCoy retweeted it, said, "Yes,
yeah.
like yes sir," or something like that.
He said, "Hell yeah," I think.
Hell yeah! So I'm on the shady train.
You convinced me to actually jump on the shady train. I'm
There's
very interested to see what Liam's going to say about that.
You're gonna give me a migraine. It's every off season without fail for 5 years.
But Chris has a
honestly,
very good reasoning to bring McCoy back. Very good reasoning,
Go on.
if you remember it.
Oh, so you don't read my articles then? You just edit
okay,
it,
go on.
just put them out, huh?
Right, you're going to assume that all your listeners are. No, I'm leading you in. Say it.
I looked at Sanders' averages where he was great at. He was great up the middle. He was great off the left end where Lane or Brooks were able to pull and help him out there. And he was great off Brooks and as well. And Sam wasn't great off Jason Peters. So we'll see what happens there. And where Sanders lacked, LaShawn's excelled. He pretty much every off the right edge, up the middle also he was pretty good. But off the right edge, he was able to spread it out well last year. Also in the limited action he saw. So just seeing it from a complementary standpoint, we don't really need that bruiser who can go up the middle because Sanders averaged over 6.5 yards per carry up the middle. Granted, that really long, I think it was a 50-something yard run he had earlier this season, does balloon it a little bit because it was up the middle. But still, he has in the beginning of the season, I was on record. Sanders was trying to be LaShawn McCoy way too much. And he just couldn't do it. Got better as he got on, but Sanders showed that he can go between tackles. He can be that between tackles running back, and you just need someone like a Boston Scott who's a little more durable, maybe a little more experienced, who can go outside and take the edges to their advantage after Sanders pounds the rock inside and just tires out the defensive tackles. Not many defensive ends can keep up with Sean McCoy or Boston Scott on the edge.
My problem is, so there's two main ones. The first one is, if you want that to be the basis of your argument, to bring LaShawn McCoy back, that's fine, right? Do you not think, though, it will take about 6 plays for teams to go, well, when Miles is in, he runs left, and when LaShawn McCoy runs right.
Predictability, but we know it would be easier since LaShawn McCoy still can do the things that Sanders is doing.
Can he?
Oh, I'm gonna bring up my.
I don't want a highlight tape of 2009 LaShawn McCoy.
2010.
I want LaShawn McCoy playing Scrabble on the bench of the Super Bowl highlights. I want to see how LaShawn McCoy's Candy Crush saga highlights are going.
I wonder what level he is on, actually.
Probably very high, given the time he is on. But now, do you know what? I understand it. That's the best argument I've heard for it, and I read it in the article, and I was like, all right, I get it. But the problem is, if you sell a car and you buy a brand new sports car, you don't go and buy your old car back again just because you like it. And my main concern with it is that it contradicts Howie Roseman's entire off-season mantra of, I get too emotionally attached to players. I've got to stop doing that.
He's already
Exactly. So then he brings back Jason Peters.
He brought him back.
And then he brings back LaShawn McCoy. And then Deshaun Jackson's still here after that stuff. Nothing's changed.
But Jason, I think maybe Howie wanted to mask that a little bit, but say, no, he's guard Jason Peters. He's different now.
He's a different bodyguard. He's an actual bodyguard.
Everyone meet on the right guard. Payson Jeter's everyone. Here he is.
He's like that girl that brought back their ex-boyfriend. No, he's changed now. He's different.
Yeah. But nah, I know the Eagles don't want to pay running back, right? That much is clear. And if they don't want to pay one, and Freeman's playing hardball, and LaShawn McCoy would take a hometown discount, I can understand why they're probably go in his favour. I just don't think he's got the engine to give what fans would expect and want from him. Because people want to go and see LaShawn McCoy. And if you see LaShawn McCoy, Miles Sanders, it is that star power name to it. And you know what Shady brings to the table. Like, I don't think he'd have a role like that.
Off the right tackle, Miles Sanders, 3.31 yards per carry. LaShawn McCoy, 6.78.
But but can you contextualize it and see when those carries came though for McCoy? Like, were they in the dead of the fourth quarter against a punter at right? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
here we go. You guys can.
I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting. I'm not sure if LaShawn McCoy. I don't know. I've always been of the opinion I wouldn't have him or Deshaun Jackson back because for the last 5 years, it's every off season you're writing the same article of going, Eagles have interest in LaShawn McCoy, and then it's like again and again and again, and it's like the guy could literally retire, and somehow there would be an Instagram eye emoji, and the world would lose their mind. And it's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if it works, it works. If it works, I'll be very happy. If he does come back and it goes down the Swanee, then
So is
I'll
it fair
be
to say
that
that
guy.
LaShawn McCoy signing depends on Corey Clement's progress or health?
It's debatable. I think that, and like you look at someone like Elijah Holyfield, who's very he caught a touchdown pass in preseason last year, but he's still fairly one-dimensional. You've got Michael Warren there, obviously. Adrian Killins, another guy. But with this, and doing any other preseason, I would probably say, yeah, let the undrafted guys do it. In this scenario, I could see why Howie would just say, no, we need the experience. We need a guy we're familiar with. We need someone that's been at the NFL level for this amount of time. Like, he's been in Doug's system. He's been in Andy Reid's system. Like, it does make sense from that standpoint.
And then you also see, Devontae has familiarity with Scangarello. So it can go either way. I mean, I'm sure they would probably go, and by I'm sure, I mean, I'm not sure. Probably go LaShawn route because of what you just said. He's Reed, Tree, Doug Peterson, Tree.
Nobody's wearing 25, which is mind-blowing because everybody's wearing 36. So
everybody's wearing 36. They're throwing
everybody.
They're throwing Westbrook's number to scrubs, and it's so disrespectful.
Well, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Okay. So now the very, very intriguing position, wide receiver. You have the unhealthy Alshon Jeffrey.
The last time 36 was worn was Rudy Ford.
He's still wearing it. He's on the team, so.
Still on the team, whatever.
Yeah, but that's on defense, though, isn't it? Like, you can rely on it on different offense.
Offense was J.J., and he wore that
in the Super Bowl season.
Right. The first time.
36 Ajayi was good. The other Ajayi.
What was it,
28 Ajayi
was it 28 or 26?
Ajayi wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, neither was Philadelphia Union Esports J.J. either, but that's a very different.
What is he doing nowadays? Is he still doing esports?
I hope not.
Oh, you hope not? That's what he said.
I should find out what he's doing. Hey, Jay, if you're listening, I'm calling you soon.
I've emailed his agent so many times because I know he's based in England and dead water, nothing. So if anyone can pull it out of the bag, I mean, it would be you since you're this little. If you can pull it off, I'd be more impressed with that than the Dawkins thing because I've tried for like 2 years to get. I'm still
convinced Chris is offering something on the side. There's an attachment to that email where he's like a contract that he's offering something.
There's like just at the bottom, like 20% off my OnlyFans. just at the bottom.
I mean, I am recording after this some other content, so I got to give the people what they want when I trade them for articles and interviews. Gotta do what I gotta do.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know about your OnlyFans account. Anyways, so wide receiver, we have the unhealthy Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, Marquise Goodwin, Quez Watkins, John Hightower, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Am I missing anybody?
Greg Ward.
Greg Ward. God, wow. Greg Ward. My apologies for that one. But that's kind of the theme of this offseason if you actually think about it. Everybody's forgetting about Ward.
I think my main thing now is how many guys are actually going to stay on the roster.
How many do they have on the roster last season?
It's usually like 5 or 6, that they'll go with, but it's going to then be dependent on linemen. Like, do you need to bring an extra lineman with Jason Peters back? Can you afford to drop a lineman with Peters back? Because you can kind of pin him as a left tackle and a right guard. You can assume that Olshon's going to start on IR. I think that's a given, so that gives you a little bit of flexibility. So if you go through logically, you've got what? Arthega Whiteside is your ex. Not like that, guys. All right, come on, then in the slot, this is where it gets weird, because I need to go straight to Z and go Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, put those guys in. In the slot, I'd probably go like Marquise Goodwin, John Hightower, and then Greg Ward. Like, that would be my core there, like those guys. And I've said this before, like, I feel like if the Eagles want Reagor and Jackson on the field at the same time, one of them's going inside. Like, just Deshaun Jackson has played a lot of snaps inside, and people seem to forget that and always see, like, even his touchdowns
last year. Right?
Yeah, 100%. I think off the top of my head, it was like 40% of his snaps in Tampa Bay as well. So it's like, I can understand why they'd want to do that, but you've got to feel like with Goodwin there, who's also a kind of slot guy, a gadget guy, basically a pace merchant, someone that just has all the blaze for days, and then there's inconsistencies and a couple drops and that sort of thing. Do you keep Ward around? Like, I'd like to think they will, but what's the ceiling now? Like, after being such a role player last year and doing so well in those final 4 games, like, he needs a strong camp. He's got to really shine above a Hightower, a Goodwin, a Watkins, who haven't learned the playbook just yet, and really say, look, I can still be the starting slot guy for now.
He has that familiarity with Wentz, too. I mean, the two looked very, very good towards the end of the season.
He practiced with Subfield for so long. He knows the starting and backups and third team, fourth team, the cuts. He knows everybody. He would be the ultimate Howie, like, hanging on to a player just for sentimental value player. Because of what he did for the team at the end of the season, even if he doesn't statistically or athletically beat out Hightower or Watkins, Howie would just be like, no, we're going to look what he did at the end of the season. Just like every other fan does when you say Greg Ward is probably not going to make the roster or have a hard time to make the roster. Oh, did you see what he did at the end of the season? Because, I mean, it's like that you go into the bar and it's 2 a.m. and, who are you going to leave with? The one that's still there. And Greg Ward was still there after all the other ones left earlier because they were hurt or they just didn't want to hang out with you.
So do you think Ward is odd man out?
I think so. Like, there's a reason why he didn't make it for so long. He was buried in the practice squad for so long, and he was the Najee Good of the offense. Cut, promoted, cut them back, and signed them back. I love Ward. I have his jersey upstairs, but gotta call a spade a spade.
A lot of people feel like Watkins might be odd man out.
I think Watkins will miss out, if I'm honest. I think that's the guy. Because, I mean, I did the film room on him, and I've never been that underwhelmed. Like, that to me was a move purely off athletic traits that don't show up on film. Like, there's an upside there, and if you can coach him and you want to put that level of trust in the new wide receiver coach and hope that it all turns out, then brilliant. You can have a real, like, sleeper on your hands. But considering 1 round earlier, you got John Hightower, who to me was a far more complete receiver and will give you everything you want in that position. And it's like, he was almost like, I said it before, he's like a budget Van Jefferson to me, John Hightower, like that same model of player. Kes Watkins ran a blazing 40 time. On film, it just doesn't show. You don't see that speed. The play speed is different with him. And if that doesn't translate in camp, where you're going to have, 4 weeks to try and, elevate this guy to a point where he's surpassing someone like Greg Ward Jr., I don't think he can do it. I think Greg Ward would be able to beat him out.
It's going to be very interesting to see that. So it's Watkins versus Ward pretty much, and everybody else is kind of like in the end pretty much.
Yeah, that would be right, yeah.
It's going to be very interesting because I don't think any reporters are allowed, just as I know at training camp right now, obviously with COVID. So we're not going to know who's progressing, who's doing what, who's standing out until season starts.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think even the media that aren't allowed to explicitly say what's going on either, because teams are obviously approaching it their own way. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a nightmare.
So that brings us to tight end. Eagles Twitter's favorite position, because they've been auctioning off Zach Ertz for the longest, and Zach Ertz is still one of the most prolific tight ends in the league.
Now there's no one to trade him for because now Jamal Adams is in Seattle.
I'm sure if there's anyone that could find someone to trade him for,
They're gonna
Chris
find
would be the one to find a way. If just the master of trade articles, like if there was ever
players that the Eagles can trade Zach Ertz for.
It's coming.
Oh man, please don't do that article. You might get divorced because your wife loves Zach Ertz. Oh wow.
Oh no. Oh.
Risking it all.
Can you edit that out? Because if she sees that, I'm gonna.
You know we don't edit.
So
Zach Ertz.
Let me see. Trade him for Yannick. No. That's
Come
not worth it.
on. You don't want to send him to the hot zone.
Trade him for Chris Godwin. So they can have a tight end down there.
I thought they already had 2 tight ends down there. They have
Ertz, Gronk, and OJ Howard.
Oh my god.
14 personnel
14 plus now.
That'll be kind of wild.
with Tom Brady because he can't, just dump it off to the tight ends.
Anyways, so Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Josh Perkins, and Noah. I cannot pronounce his last name.
Togai?
Togai.
Togai?
See, I say Togiai, and then I realised it's probably not that. Like, then again, this is from me that thought Chris's email was Infantepe and not Infante PE. He's a PE teacher. So I just thought he had a nickname of Infantepe, and then that's not the case.
I could imagine Liam sitting alone doing that when he's emailing the weekly recap.
No, I do. Like, I add everyone's email, and I legit go, like, B, because you also do, so I'm like, B, there's 3 cans. I go, like, can 3 wrong, and then I'm like, Infantepe, and then I'm like, okay, through. Really bad. Uh-oh.
It's the guy.
The guy.
Oh.
The guy.
Noah, the guy.
Noah the guy. How about that?
Will Noah be the guy?
There we go. That's the next article right there.
So it's definitely not Togiai, right? No, it's...
See what happens when it's a Monday podcast and
Yeah, it's completely different. I'm still not awake, honestly. I'm very, very drained right now.
I've been playing Call of Duty all morning. That just taking in my alone time.
I gotta respect that. That's very rare for a father.
Yeah.
My alone time was having a dream that I was driving.
Hold on.
No, not that kind of dream.
I had to put explicit on this podcast.
No. I was having a dream. I think it was because of like iRacing. I was driving a car up my road, and I went to park it. And as I went to brake, my bag was like stuck on the accelerator, and I couldn't take it off. So the car was just picking up speed down the road, and I looked up, and I was just pushing loads of cars in a line down the road. So that was my alone time this morning.
Well, your strength has gone real up.
Oh, quarantine gains, mate. You can't stop me.
So we know Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert are the focus of the offense, but Josh Perkins and Noah Togai are the wild cards now because who's going to be TE3? Alex Ellis is not going to be there now because they cut him while I was doing my article. So thanks a lot, Philly.
Probably
Perkins
Perkins.
was a great red zone target. Josh Perkins did kind of come through with 1 touchdown against the Giants.
Yeah, I don't know. Perkins.
It was a really nice catch too.
I mean, it was wide open. Drop tap, bro.
Really nice. I mean, trust me. When an Eagles player catches something, it's a nice catch.
Hopefully, don't catch COVID or anything.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Let's not catch that.
Could you imagine the poor jokes if Nelson Aguilar catches COVID?
I was just thinking about that right now. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't want to say it because it's like you don't want to.
There's 2 people that people will be relentless on. It's Aguilar for that. You could catch COVID, but not catch, or Wentz. Because if Wentz gets it, now that's another thing that he has, and he can't stay healthy. It's like it's.
So just to piggyback, what if Wentz actually does like get injured or catches COVID, I mean, is it the Jalen Hurts show, or do we, say let's go for the draft when starting a rookie? Because they don't trust Sudfeld.
Yeah, I at that point, it depends on Hurts' development. And I mean, like, you've got apparently what feels like Press Taylor sat with Jalen Hurts in a room shouting plays at each other for 4 hours a day. That was what I got from the press conference at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, he's got to be able to spit back to him, which is cool. But I don't know. I mean, Hurts has literally been an option quarterback forever. Like, even in Alabama, he was being used at wide receiver at some points, like with Tua. So I don't know. Like, maybe you just run the same thing.
It's a game of RPOs.
Yeah.
RPO every play.
It literally would become Chip Kelly 2.0 at that point.
Well, 3.0 because Nick Foles was 2.0.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Okay, so fast forward back to tight end, to Josh Perkins' miraculous catch.
Miraculous, yes.
Is he the guy or is it Noah?
It's Perkins. It's Noah's an undrafted free agent who battled injuries, and I mean he's good size.
Big red zone target.
But
the Eagles love that.
Do you really keep a third tight end just to be a red zone target? He has to block. He can't block.
Perkins can block.
Perkins probably right now would be the Richard Rodgers. Richard Rodgers was supposed to be that guy.
Where is Rodgers nowadays?
He's gone.
Poor guy, bro. Philly ruined his career.
Yeah, that was odd. It was. But I've written the same article every year for about 5 years now, where I really want them to hit reset at tight end factory again. Like, don't worry about quarterback factory. You've got one of them. Like, tight end. Back in the day, right? I say that like I'm a veteran. I'm 25. Back in the glory days, right, when life was simpler, the Eagles had Brent Selleck, James Casey, Zach Ertz, and Trey Burton. All right, and over the course of the next 4 years, James Casey went, Brent Selleck lost to Ertz, and then you've got Burton coming up, and then all three of them together were fine for like three and a half years, and then Burton got better each year.
Don't forget about The Bachelor.
Clay Harbor?
Clay Harbor.
Oh,
That
yeah.
guy's such a joke, bro.
Oh, see, I don't watch The Bachelor, so that I was like, wow, Chris really likes this. Who have I missed here? Was there a man crush on him? And I don't know. That's
I remember them playing him at fullback a few times, and that didn't really work that great.
But it's a thought that counts. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Noah DeGuy would definitely be a good shoe-in for it. Like, they like it. They put a really high price on his contract as well. Like, he's one of the highest paid free agents. Yeah. So I think they could. I was never high on Perkins to begin with, though. Like, I was really anti-Josh Perkins. Like, and he had one good game against Tampa, I think 2018. And then last year, one good catch. And it's like, you saw what happened when Ertz went down. And, like, you needed Goddard to step up. And you're getting to a point now where 2021 off-season, so not this one coming, the one after.
Let's not talk about the apocalypse, please.
Yeah, the apocalypse is coming. Goddard's going to be out of contract. His rookie deal's up. Zach Ertz may or may not have had his payday by then. Judging by the salary cap, it's probably not coming anytime soon. So you need to get some line of succession in there just in case something bad happens.
All right, so let's look at this for a minute. See like how really screwed we are. You're looking at the tight ends right now, and the highest paid. Oh, I can't do it. But
aren't they waiting for Kittle to get his deal to kind of
we got Cooper is at $42 million over. He just signed it. 10 and a half. The highest per year. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Hunter Henry is fully guaranteed $10.6 million. He's an undrafted free agent, also unrestricted free agent next year. He's supposed to be really good. He's just always hurt. Mm-hmm. You got Austin Hooper making 10.5 a year. Kelsey's making 9.3 a year. Kyle Rudolph's making 9 a year. Gronk's making 9 a year. You got Ertz at 8.5. Total value, you got Gronk's at 54. Kelsey's at 46. You got Ertz at 42.5. Hooper's at 42. So Kelsey's next deal is going to propel him up. And then you have Kittle all the way down here.
Kittle's on his rookie deal, right?
Yeah, Kittle's on his rookie deal.
And then you got Goddard at 5.6. So is Goddard going to be because Blake, you're looking around like players that are around his age, and you got Jesse James on the Lions. He's at 22.6. Blake Jarwin's at 22.
Who's more irreplaceable at this point, Goddard or Ertz? Let's look at this like a future look at it. Like
Ertz.
Huh?
Ertz. He's Wentz's security.
You could just draft another Goddard.
But there's really no other Goddards. It's like the tight end class this year and the draft was abysmal.
Yeah.
So you can't. I mean, I read that next year's tight end class is pretty good.
So do you sacrifice Goddard for one of those?
But do you ruin Avonte Maddox's best friend, thing that they got going on there? Yeah. You can't live in the same house if they're in different cities.
Can't have nerf wars if you're in different cities.
You can have some negotiations about like, how it's like, minor quibble. I live with him. I've got to move now. I can't afford that. So, do you want to reconsider this? You heartless monster. You're a monster. I hate it.
Imagine that's what it's like.
Darren Waller makes 29.8. I feel like Goddard would be in the 20 to 30 range.
Can we talk about how Darren Waller is like number 99 in the top 100 and what's Ertz 80?
I think it's 83, 85.
85, I think.
Around
How
that.
the hell is that possible?
I didn't watch it. I never watch it. I see it on Twitter and then I'm like.
I wrote today in my top 100 list of lists. The NFL top 100 list is not on it.
I hate
what a
NFL
list.
top 100. I hate Madden ratings.
Behind top paints, I would like to watch dry.
Wait, what?
I understand why it's there. It's cool to watch. I just, my opinion on it. It's when people write, and this man thinks this about this player. Like, just write your own opinion about that player. We don't need that discussion and to put so much stock into a list, and it'll be fine. But I don't know. Like, there's always that element of like, I think, disrespect and Eagles. Like, there's almost a confirmation bias, I think, of Eagles fans wanting to feel disrespected. Because if they're not all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, where were you the last 5 years? You were sleeping on us the whole time. And it's like, we've all done it. Like, the second, like, Wentz had his 2017 campaign, like, where were you when this happened? It's like, until that happens, the world's sleeping, everyone's disrespecting. And then when we do get it, it's, well, you weren't there the first 5 years, and then they'll disappear again. So, like, it's an endless cycle of, like, you kind of want to be disrespected because you like proving people wrong, which is a good spot to be in. Like, I'd rather that than just not at all.
Rather be underrated than overrated at this point.
Yeah, 100%. I'd rather that than be like, oh my God, how is Carson Wentz number 2? Like, because then you've got to talk him and say, well, is Carson Wentz a number 2 player in the NFL? And that's a trickier conversation to have because you're having to find flaws in his game and talk bad about him. Whereas the opposite said, how has he not even made the list? That's barbaric. And then it's easier to talk it up and make the case for than against. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I read that this might be a little off topic, but a former NFL GM said that that Wentz can't really be on top of the QB list right now just because his team won a Super Bowl without him. I feel like that's kind of like
they wouldn't be there.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, did everybody forget about that? Like,
an 11-2 season before he left, and then
33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
It's but you know what we all can be on top of.
Liam's favorite segment.
Ball hygiene, Liam. That's what. And
do I be a little optimistic this time? Can we? How do I do that? If only there was a company that made some products that I could groom them with.
Well, you know what? You know what's really weird and on topic right now? With the NBA coming back, we might have a playoff matchup of the Clippers versus the Nuggets. And you know what? Manscaped some special Clippers for your Nuggets.
Have you ever referred to them as Nuggets before until this point?
No.
No.
The Lawnmower 3.0 are the Clippers that I'm talking about. You
that's
put
the Kawhi Leonard of Clippers,
and you are going to have the smoothest landing spot for your whoever you're going to have down there.
Right hand, left hand.
Right or left? Right or left? Or towel, tissues, whatever you want, whatever you're bringing down there, it's going to be smooth as, and it's gonna feel like it's waxed, but when you didn't even put wax down there. That's how close of a shave this lawnmower 3.0 gives you. What they also
Not
gave,
lying either. Like it's really close shave.
look at Brian's head right now. It will be even smoother than that. Go to manscaped.com, use FTB for 20% off. Also, what they have going on there, which is my favorite, it's also my wife's favorite, because I have a problem with biting my nails.
Oh. Thank God we went that route, bro. I didn't know where we were going with this.
I phrased it the way I phrased it to get you guys a little, nervous. But I have a real issue biting my nails. I bite my nails all the time. So what they came out with is, look at this grooming kit. You got your nail clipper, you got your tweezers, you got a file, you got whatever this is here.
This is it?
Product knowledge. He's got one of them.
It comes right out. It's great. The alloy steel that it comes in, it cuts through the thickest nail. I got a bad fingernail right here. It's too thick. Because when I was in 8th grade, I was running through the hallway. I ran through a door. Someone closed the door, and my finger was in the doorway, and it was blood everywhere. So now my nail fell off, and now.
Why does that sound like Final Destination?
Speaking of, all right, FTB at checkout.
20% off.
Manscaped is your final destination for male grooming. Code FTB at checkout.
We're going to get so many sales now. Sounds good.
On that note, really quickly,
Uh-oh.
I've got a bone to pick with you guys, because every advert I ever get on YouTube now is the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. Every single advert. I never heard of them until you guys got this advertising deal, and now it's all I see everywhere. All right, my friend messaged me a couple weeks ago.
We travel with you wherever you go. See?
You're just, that's it.
We're your guardian angels for your balls.
For my balls, yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe I should.
We're doing them disservice right now.
Very proud.
Yeah, but speaking of Final Destination, I watched a clip the other day, and now like in 2020, we're realizing all these movies that were in the 90s and early 2000s were just really
wildly exaggerated.
And it was one where it was the clip where a girl was on the balance beam, and then like a poof of like baby powder just went in the air, and like she's like,
There's a fan behind it and stuff like that.
And like she falls on the ground, and then like her leg is split in two, and her neck is broken, and there's blood everywhere. And everybody back then was like, "Oh my God, this can happen to me."
It's pretty terrible.
I still get a little weary driving behind trucks that are carrying logs.
Well, speaking of Final Destination again, is left tackle the final destination for Andre Dillard?
Wow.
We saw that. We still got the offensive line, and we got a boatload of big guys that are waiting up. We got the starting five, no Brandon Brooks. We got the bodyguard, Jason Peters now at right guard. We have what's the Australian guy's name? Wow, it just slipped me. Mailata, Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Suo Peta, Nate Herbig, Matt Pryor. If I could do this, is phenomenal. Matt Pryor.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Come on, keep going.
Damn. We're talking about reserves only right now, right? Oh, Prince Tego. Wanna know his last name?
You want to go down this list?
Wanna go. They also got the other kid that they drafted. Was it Driscoll?
Yeah.
There we go. Just say that's it, guys. Come on.
No. There's another center.
Oh, damn it.
At the very least.
I said Nate Herbig already.
Yeah.
Damn. I have no idea.
All I'm saying is maybe you should look around.
I'm not getting it.
Maybe you should look around. I'll just say it twice, and then everything's
Would it have been bad if I actually looked around too?
Yeah, don't look around. There's nothing to see.
Saying look around, saying Luke around.
Look around.
Oh, his name is Luke Around?
No. Luke
Did you say
Jariga.
it already? Who?
Luke Jariga.
Where's Around in a Jarica?
He's telling you.
For God's sake.
I got the Luke part, but I was not going to give Jarica.
It was just a prompt.
I could have said Luke, but I didn't know the last name.
It's just Luke. We'll just call him Luke from now on.
Luke long last name.
Lukey J.
Lukey J. So yeah, it's a pretty big offensive line.
That's another LJ on the Eagles.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. See?
Oh,
On the
we
next
start
Eagles
Luke
promo.
Jariga. Go on.
I'm going to call his agent. See if we can get him on. LJ and LJ. LJ meets LJ.
The LJ and LJ show.
Philly Connect. So yeah, big group of offensive linemen, and they usually only keep about 8 on roster, if I'm not mistaken.
It's normally like, I think it's like 10.
Is it 10?
What do you think last year? What? So they had the 5 starters, Vaitai,
Dillard.
Pryor. Maybe it was 8 last year. Maybe my roster predictions always go with 10. Okay, you can have 8. Maybe I'm just being, okay. Yeah,
Okay. So who are your final 8? I mean, besides obviously the 5 starting guards. I mean, 5 starting linemen. My apologies. Jason Peters is stuck in my head.
I think, well, for Pryor is obviously there, but that's probably the protocol. And then you've got Prince Tagovailoa and Jack Driscoll. That pushes you to 8.
And Driscoll can play center too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's moving inside. As far as I'm aware, he's moving inside, which is interesting this offseason. Like, I wouldn't surprise me if they keep him at tackle there for now. Like, just to make sure there is a bit of depth. But, yeah, so you've got Pryor that can swing and play where he wants. You've then got Driscoll that ideally can play inside. Mm-hmm. And then Prince Tagovailoa, who's pretty much only played left tackle, I think, throughout his career. But yeah,
solid backup for Dillard.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it's weird that like watching them on tape. Like, there's a G drive. Like, you know, when everyone's like, "Oh, you should check that guy's hard drive." If anyone checks mine, it's just like endless folders of film from like Eagle screenshots or like college tape. Going through Auburn 2019 film, you've got one tackle on the right who's like zippy and is flying around and he's able to run the hoop and just like put guys in the ground. You've got another one that's really slow, but will just like bash you out of nowhere with a punch and kill someone. So like Prince Tago is like very fundamentally raw, doesn't have the agility, doesn't quite have like the explosion that Driscoll has. But on the inverse, Driscoll is like a lot of agility, a lot of nimbility, if that's a word, like, but doesn't have a lot of punch power. So like when he puts his hands on a player, the player doesn't stop. He's just got enough momentum on his lower body to follow it round and kind of like guide it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Whereas Prince will have none of that, but just absolutely knock someone out. So it's like Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills last year. That's a really bad comparison, but in terms of contrasting skill sets, to which I can see why they want to move Driscoll inside, because in terms of getting to the second level and reach blocking and that kind of thing, like he'd probably have the better skill set for it.
What do you think, Chris?
Sure.
What the hell does that even mean?
Sure to what?
Because offensive line to me is like right now with Peters back. I was really excited to see Pryor.
There.
It was Pryor's gonna move. Sorry, there's so many puns today.
I feel like you have to be drunk or very intoxicated to listen to this podcast.
Sorry.
I mean, I usually am. It's just now it's 12. It's 1 o'clock on a Monday, and if I drink right now, the rest of my day is gonna be shit. So I gotta at least have some sort of sober today. Maybe later. Maybe when my wife comes home and she's ready to make baby number 2.
Oh God.
Manscaped.com.
Oh my God.
It's. I saw Mike K put out his prediction. Like he he thinks 9 are gonna stick around. He put
the final roster is what, 40, 48 now, 46,
53.
I thought they lowered it.
53-man roster.
Why did I feel like they lowered it?
Bro, Bryan just cutting more people.
It's Monday.
Yeah, like who else do you want to cut?
I cut a whole offensive line. I have no idea.
We have 3 offensive linemen, and You're going to play with one defensive tackle and a punter on our defensive line.
You guys tell it's Monday. I still even have chinky eyes right now, so don't mind me.
He has Dillard, the starters. Dillard, Samuel, Kelsey, Peters, Lane. And he has Pryor, Driscoll, Prince, and Nate there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which I think is that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Driscoll, working on center stuff as soon as, like, the workouts had started. We'll give him, like, leg up. I like Nate. Nate would be a good backup. But like Liam said, Driscoll is pretty athletic. Playing for Auburn style definitely helped him.
Mm-hmm.
With their running backs that they have there. Auburn's like RBU over there. I do like Driscoll. I wish they would just maybe move Mailata off of offensive line and just like try him somewhere else.
They could try him a defensive line, honestly, because
if he has just the way he played. Looking at all his videos and playing rugby, like he could be a nice edge. Like his get up to be that size and that nimble. You would think he'd be a good edge, maybe rotational, linebacker or some kind of, But
so you're saying the Eagles have a chance to Villanueva Mailata?
But look at Villanueva. Like he was on the Eagles as a defensive tackle when he was absolutely awful, and he goes to Steelers and he's an All-Pro offensive tackle. So like it's just maybe just the way he saw things. It was switch it around. It's like, oh, I could use this in my advantage. Maybe Mailata can do that on the other side. I learned all this about offensive line. I can use this now just to beat them up and go to the quarterback. He's grown up in rugby knowing you see the ball, you destroy the person with the ball. Let him do that at the defensive end.
Yeah.
So many years invested into developing Mailata. At what point they're like, all right, it's not going to work.
And it kind of makes sense because they drafted 2 tackles.
I think
obviously one of them's going to be a center.
But a lot of that, obviously, the Eagles obviously lost Keys to begin with. Then they lost Vaitai, who went to Detroit. So they needed someone. Like, if Dillard's going to be left tackle, you need someone serviceable in there. And I don't think the trust level's there with Mailata yet. But I don't know. I feel like year one, it's weird looking back at it, and I don't want to downplay it because I know he'd never played a snap of professional football before. But I'd like to think if you were given 4 weeks with an NFL coach, you could get the basics of a position down, right? Like I'd like to think that,
especially like our coaches, it's
right. Yeah, exactly. Especially Stoutland, yeah, he's like a wizard. So year 1 to year 2 was a big leap, and I didn't see it. Like it was still the same. Like year 1, the shock factor of, oh my God, this guy's quite competent and he can play, wears off. When you're now looking to, all right, well, how serviceable can he be? And instead of looking for positives, you're then looking for, well, what's he not doing? And like hand placement's still a thing, and his kick step was still a little bit of a thing, and like he just got a little bit clumsy. Like I always found he was too top heavy for me for an offensive lineman. Like you look at Jack Driscoll, and you've got that like Z shape where he's like his shoulders are over his knees and he's constantly pushing. Like Mailata tries to, but overloads it and doesn't have the torque under, so we'll just like fly over. And the amount of times he's on the floor year 2 just wasn't ideal.
So the progression isn't really like as great as it should be.
Yeah, it's a tough one to grade. So like without a preseason this year, it's gonna be really hard for anyone to get a gauge on where he is now.
That's very true.
He might end up being one of the ones cut.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I'd be more. Yeah, it just wouldn't surprise me. I'll give up on whatever sentence I was trying to say. It just wouldn't surprise me. We'll go with that.
So they need to cut 2 to 3 players tomorrow.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So 2 to 3 players need to be cut by tomorrow. Any gut feelings on who? What are you doing with your nose? Any gut feelings on who do you think it could be?
Does that mean he's saying that he knows?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Do you know?
That's what I do when I think.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were just going on the road of puns again, to be honest. I don't know. Like
I think Rudy Ford is definitely on his way out. Recovering from it. Trying to recover from that injury.
I think
Who?
Craig James could be someone, unfortunately.
Rudy Ford. Oh,
Wait, what?
They brought in a lot of defensive backs as well. Like someone like Prince Smith, who is a little bit small, was quite quick, but didn't
I didn't
impress.
realize that the Eagles have 2 princes.
Oh yeah,
It's called the Spin Doctors.
and so do Flippin the Birds. Look at that.
2 kings.
All right, don't then. Fine. Do you know what?
Damn it.
So the name of this podcast is gonna be Two Kings and a Royal.
Yeah, no, I think just looking down the roster now.
Bad Brit. There we go.
Yeah, I can't see them. It's just gonna have to be another wide receiver. Like Deontay Burnett and Robert Davis are still there.
Yeah.
That's
I
two
would,
names.
I would think one of the running backs. So I don't think
Killings?
Killins is nice. He's fast, but how many small, fast running backs are you gonna have? Like how many times are you gonna sign a Donald Pumphrey?
Or
Yeah.
LaShawn. What?
And you already have Boston Scott.
You got it. You already have Boston Scott. Like you had Scott and Sproles last year, and until Sproles wasn't there, But it's like I think Warren's has a good shot to make the. I don't think Cummins has a good shot. Like he's a nice story. He's fast as ever. It's just that he's small, and you already got that in Boston Scott's 5'6" frame. So how much of an offense can you cater to 2 guys under 5'9"? It's rough.
But if it's almost like having 2 running backs of the same skill set's a bad idea, then
Yeah, but
no.
We're going back.
let's be clear.
Don't be so shady, Liam. There we go.
I said 2 running backs of the same size. Not skill set, Scott size.
Okay. All right. I'll let you off.
Like, with all this, you're really killing me.
Oh, we started.
Oh my God. Great
I
stuff.
guess it's a bit of Julie Jones podcast.
I didn't warrant this from you.
Yeah, I think I'm at running back comes now. Running back puns. Jesus Christ.
Shout out to you if you actually listen to the podcast this long today.
Yeah, this is going to be oh, God.
All right, so back to the question.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. So we have what? We have Craig James. We have Rudy Ford. I think Marcus Epps could take a hike too at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of safeties they've got there. I mean, it's just
don't
comes down
need
to special teams, yeah.
Hold on a minute.
You waiting for puns?
Back to Manscaped. Here's my dad. He just texted me. Look what I just got.
Oh,
It's the crop mop, the ball wipes. Crop mop available on Manscaped.com. FTB for 20% off. Be like my dad. Get some ball wipes. Wipe your balls. Thanks, Dad.
Are we not going to talk about that elephant in the room? That your dad is
really
investing in
paranoid about
Manscaped?
My dad's a customer of Manscaped. Yeah.
That's a very awkward conversation. On that note,
It's been over an hour.
shout out to Liam for joining us today, even though he only got about, I think, 4 hours of sleep? 5, maybe max?
I can't tell if I'm hallucinating at this point. So probably about 3. But
Liam doesn't even know that he's on FTB right now.
I'm on TV. But no, seriously, guys, it's been a blast. I love gate crashing the show and bringing a little bit of chaos. But yeah, you boys have been on an absolute rampage recently, and I'm just happy to add a little bit of chaotic goodness with puns. And preview training camp has been a laugh.
Well, thanks for coming on and providing the killings.
I already used his name.
It's definitely been a Nate podcast.
Like you doing that really hurts.
I'm sorry. Did I step in your lane?
Oh,
Anyway,
that was good. That was good. That was amazing. Well, I mean, for you guys, you know, I guess the rest of your day, Brian's been celebrating the birthday of his daughter, and Chris is going to go and see his wife.
I'm really jacked, son.
I'm just going to keep being a singleton and, you know, get on with life, really.
Until we make a mill, right?
Yeah, let's not be rudy about it, all right? Let's just...
This is
Is that a great land?
This is really becoming a Jatavis. Jatavis.
Oh, man, I'm going to end up in my Hargrave today. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to episode.
Remember when we talk about Manscaped, it's not about just your balls, it's about your cocks, too.
I will, Kel. See you next time.
Until then. Oh, man. I guess I like
Johnson.
Well, I love how that went. Anyways. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.
Maybe. We'll see.